Well, hello people, and welcome back to another episode of City Showcase. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we are looking at the city of San Martin by Dr. Murugapam, built on the Emerald Cliffs map from the Hotels DLC, with a really wonderful build and some of the best interchange work I've ever seen. So let's take a look around at this gem of a city, shall we? So as always, let's start with a bit of a bird's eye perspective to how the city is laid out. So I remember doing this map during the tier list and I always wanted to build on it. So I'm incredibly excited to have a look around the city on this map. Again, Emerald Cliffs is the map name if you guys are wondering. But I guess we'll start from this outer line peninsula and work our way up the rivers and see what we can find here. So first of all, we're going to arrive at this big commercial tourism waterfront on the beach with an abandoned shipping tanker. I think these come with the map, these ones, don't they? I can't actually remember. But either way, some really nice tower work. There's no kind of one concentration of a CBD in this city, if you like. It really sprawls. It's a really cool design. Coming through here, we'll arrive at the first of many wonderful interchanges across this map. The Doctor, as it turns out, is a master of the slip lane, so to speak. Just super cool and creative little slip lanes and interchanges here, isn't there? He's very good with the interchanges. This is a European map, so most of the zoning is European based, but it works really nicely. I see the metro cutting through the city here as well. Very, very cool. Mix of Brooklyn and Queens and European, which is actually not a bad combo, is it? That does work quite well together there. You can blend them in. Swinging around, we find the unit building of the aquarium with some car parking outside, and then a little bit of a tourism waterfront with the statue of Colossus. And then lots more unique buildings and zoning in and around the waterfront as well. A little monorail system here too. Where we have stumbled upon the public transport, let's have a little look at some of the numbers, shall we? So 87% traffic flow, that was one of the highest we've had. And then the public transport ridership is absolutely amazing. So a city of 310,000 people, pretty much 15,000 people a week riding the public transport. That is some good numbers. That's very nice. Heading further down the beach, we can see mixins of green cities, tourism. There's unique skyscrapers in here as well before we arrive at one of the Art Deco buildings. That again spills back out onto another waterfront. Toll booth on the road here as well, charging people to get into the district. Another really nice, yep, simple interchange, but it works, doesn't it? Very good. And then this spills back onto the beach where we can find some really nicely defined city blocks using the wall-to-wall stuff, which is a very nice combination, isn't it? They do make a really solid block, those buildings. I'll have to remember that one. I really like that, actually. See if we can squeeze that into Rannoch's skyline somewhere. And then it peters out over here into more zoning with a little bit of garbage collection right nearby as well. And then this spills into a massive ore refinery with more just pristine interchange work. Would you look at that? Let's just leave a bit of 3-speed on there, shall we? Isn't that fantastic? Just have a little look at how this flows. So we've got two highways coming out of the mountain, which I'm guessing pops out the other side. Yeah, we'll get over there later on. But then it splits into a 4-way directional. Comes off here into the port, again, which has been very nicely arranged with a shipyard over here and a couple of cargo harbours. A little rail yard over here too. But just this interchange is incredible. Sweeps up as it comes under the bridges. There's little layers underneath it. It's just absolutely fantastic. All sensibly graded as well. There's no like mental ramps going on here. It's a piece of art, but that isn't it. And there's plenty more of them as well. So settle in for some of the best interchange work you're going to see in this city showcase. The Doctor has done a wonderful job of it. And that kind of rounds off this little peninsula over here. Heading further out of the highways, we'll arrive at yet another interchange, which is a really nicely again, just integrated of multiple different ones, and there's like general slip ramps here with the kind of classic vanilla Y interchange woven into it, with rail lines also fed through there as well. Isn't that fantastic? Really, really cool. And then this meets up with that metro line again, with more train lines over here with a very busy train station, which is what we love to see, isn't it? Hopefully we'll see a train in the not too distant future coming through here, though this does head into the cargo yard, doesn't it? Beyond that, we'll follow the waterfront down. Actually, tell you what, we'll cross over the bridge first. So he's used the highway bridges here to create a bit of a different highway aesthetic, which is very cool, isn't it? I love seeing those highway roads utilised, the industrial ones. Again, with that rail passing alongside it, which spills us into kind of, I guess, what is one of the main CBDs. There's a couple of spots of high-rise around the entire city. Lots of really nice pathwork to blend in that awkward space that you tend to get in these types of builds, especially when you're using key walls to separate like that. That's a nice little bit of kind of path green belt that flows around the city here. Really like that. Then the highway cuts right through the middle of more high-rise work with modern city centre, skyscraper uniques, bit of green cities all blended together here. It's quite nice, isn't it? And then we arrive at another massive rail station over here as well, which is where that rail arrives, crossing over the water, which is really, really cool. And again, just all the road networking around it, it all just makes sense. It feels so organic as to how he's put this together. Even got the keys here as well with the stairs up to the next level. Great work. And then we'll head over there in a second. We can spot another amazing interchange. And another one here as well. And just look at that. Isn't that gorgeous again? Just perfect flow on all of them. And so tightly compacted into a narrow space like this. It's really inspiring. Some of the best interchange work we've seen. It comes into a huge sunken highway system down here, doesn't it? Which is really, really cool looking. Imagine if this wasn't done with Anarchy. Anarchy wasn't on the mod list. I'm not sure if it actually was used, but it's a really nice sunken highway system, isn't it? Passing right through the middle of the city. Pedestrian bridges back and two across, which are getting use as well, which is always fun to see. So super cool. I'm actually interested just to see what the noise pollution like this something has. It's actually not too bad. It's not as bad. It's pretty much the same, I guess, loudness as some of the zoning, isn't it? And then this develops into more Brooklyn and Queens, which again spills into more European zoning as we head further into the city, checking out the waterfronts over here. Lots more wall to wall. We have a little park over here too. Then it spills down into a little bit of industry with some warehouses, garbage collection, fishing and whatnot. I'm not sure if he's planning to finish these areas off yet. There are some areas of the city that haven't been finished yet, so this is clearly still an ongoing build. More wonderful interchange work as we arrive at another major sunken highway, as people have many different ways to slip on and off of the highway system here. That's a great sight line there, isn't it? Really nice sunken highway system. He's even managed to get... Is that a mix of Brooklyn and Queens and financial districts? It is, isn't it? It works. It does work. I don't hate that at all. Actually quite a nice use of the financial districts buildings there. They need to remember they actually exist. They so very, very rarely use them. But they are welcome there, aren't they? Speaking of financial districts, we arrive at the stock exchange, which has been partnered with a hotel, which again is a very nice kind of dual combination of assets, isn't it? And then we come back into more of this mass European suburbia. There's also some little custom plazas down here as well with pathways. Create a bit of an open space within the all high density is always a nice vibe, isn't it? And that is a great integration of the Market Street asset, isn't it? Look at that. To have that just so perfectly flush there, it really, really blends in. And then the blocks start immediately down the other end of it. That's really nice integration of a unique building there, isn't it? With that Market Street. Super, super cool. And then this continues down toward the port, but we'll turn back and head the other way over here. There is just tons of residential and commercial blocks all the way around here, where we can see yet another sunken highway system, which is super cool. Really like these in vanilla. They're just nice bit of change of infrastructure, aren't they? Nice use of the airport aprons too to get the concrete there. Usually I'd go for a key in that setting, but concrete apron works as well. And then there are some power stations over here as well, plus sewage works and more of that industrialized office waterfront with a little stadium in here as well, which is all very nice, isn't it? Another use of the Eiffel Tower, like we saw a couple of city showcases ago, but doesn't feel out of place there. I don't think it's a nice blend in with the European zone in there, isn't it? Very Vive la France, if you will. Very nice indeed. Heading back down, we can see this big metro corridor that has pathways running parallel with it. A real nice kind of public transport and walkable green belt cutting right through the middle of all the density. I actually missed the Shanghai Pearl Tower, which is a really difficult, unique to use. It's a very distinctive one, isn't it? Heading further down these sunken highways, we'll arrive at yet another incredible interchange. Look at that. So cool. So cool. Just incredible at putting these together. Really nicely layered and sensible gradients again. Heading in multiple different directions as we head further down here, which links back into the highway left where we started the city showcase. So again, just really tight, compact interchange work. And heading down here, we've got some unit buildings from the base game and the seaside resort stuff. Water wall and the boat museum. What's the boat hotel? That one, isn't it? If we do arrive out in the countryside, where we can see the launch tower, which is a really cool use of the flood walls. You so very rarely see these networks used in CS because they're kind of hard to use, aren't they? But I think around a space launch center, it does actually feel quite at home. I do enjoy that. I'll have to remember to use that. Maybe we'll have to find a way to use this asset in Rannoch. It's just, we never use it, do we? Literally never. And then we have some sewage processing over here, and then this, I'm guessing, is an outside connection. It is indeed. Therefore, this puts us back into a little local airfield, combined with some high-tech unit buildings, which is quite nice. And a helicopter depot over here as well. We do have helicopters. Should we check the ridership of them? I'm always keen to see how people use them. Only has 4 stops, and they're not super busy, which I guess is good, I suppose. Because they can be pretty mental, those helicopters, if they get too many people on them. Heading further out into the country before we'll loop back into the city, there's a little oil field here. Again, another really cute, compact trumpet interchange over here as well. But it does narrow down into one single network. Heading down here, we can see a massive oil field where he's clearly extracting some resources before more European areas kick in. I'm assuming this is to continue to be developed out here. And with it just being so small, nice little country network out here as well, though. Little country interchange. That again feeds off into another outside connection. And he's got the dummy traffic loop here as well. I had to do those in Thessia just to keep the dummy traffic from doing stupid loops through the city. You can just get them to turn around right at the edge of the map. And then this switchbacks up through over into a ore area, which has been nicely terraformed to help give the aesthetic, of course, of a dugout ore mine, which is always appreciated. And then we arrive at some more massive industry, which is a big combination of industrial evolution, factories and power stations. There's a bit of a forestry area over here as well. And with really nice interchange work, super compact. That's what I really like about them. They've managed to squeeze them into like really tight spaces. And they're still working as well. Like, great flow on these. Looping back down here, there's a bit more European zoning with more embanked keywork. And a nice little waterfront. For people to enjoy, hopefully quite a nice view from here actually. If we were to stop for a coffee on the waterfront by the bus. We do get a nice view of the skyline here. I really love the Emerald Cliffs map. I definitely recommend playing on it. I think we gave it quite a high ranking during the tier list. If you're interested in a bit more in-depth look around the map itself, definitely a good one. Looping back towards the interchange where we left, there's a nice little hillside suburb here with some great observatory work. I want to do something similar to this in Rannoch. That's really nice keys there as it comes down and hugs the observatory with the radar dish and a communications tower all in close proximity as well. It's a nice little hilltop observatory, that one. I'm a fan of that. Further beyond this, we can see some really cool metro work here as it splits off from a dual station into a big industrial area that then goes back into the residential. More factory work over here with the sneakers factory and the lemonade, I think that one is, isn't it? With another big industrial cargo yard here. Using the airport, train stations and warehouses. All turns out quite nice, that, doesn't it? Really cool, and again with just endless compliments for all the interchange work around here. Just so nicely layered. Look at that with a train cutting through there as well, isn't that fancy? Very cool. And then the metro work all comes around. Lots more rail yards and European zoning. It's nice to see kind of a fully zoned European city. It's not something you see too often. I really like it. Farmland tucked in over here as well into that suburb that we left with the other interchange. There's a nice little diverging diamond set up here as well. Really compact diverging diamond there as well, isn't it? But it's getting great flow. Lovely stuff. Do love the vanilla Virgin Diamond interchange. Had great success with it in Nubioke and Bergusia, of course. And then we arrive back into this big high-density area where we can see a little bit of a campus, which always draws my eye. Oh, look at this. Oh, let's check out this big centralized design with the campus, shall we? So modern city centre blocks on the run-up. I love the respecting of a sightline here. And then this emerges out into a big glass plaza. It's really cool. Love an open space surrounded by high density like this. Eiffel Tower looks great from here as well. And then ahead of that lies a pond with the university building, and then this flows into the campus itself. Lots of pathways, dorms, and that's just integrated into the downtown, isn't it? That's what I love about campus. These chunky more than 4x4 assets really help create higher density, I think. Really looking forward to doing a bit of a university campus as part of Ranox downtown. Should be a lot of fun. And then a big old combination of, oh, look at that. Look at that. That is very nice. That's a great use of the Brandenburg Gate to go into the campus and then surround it with all the other European uniques. With a little pedestrian pathway through the middle. That is very nice. I really like that. Great use of some more difficult to use unique buildings there as well. Super fancy. And then that kind of ties off this big chunky area of high density. Before we drop back over here to where we were with more wonderful interchange awards. Look at that again. The Doctor is the master of the slip lane. So cool, so well organised, just... I think we'll struggle to find better interchanges than this in any other city showcase. Almost like we need an interchange off, isn't it? And more fantastic rail work as well. The Doctor did mention that as part of the showcase he would like me to show off the train junctions, so we'll pay special attention whenever we see a train line here. But very nicely integrated, isn't it? You know, there's no awkwardness here. He's planned for the trains to pass through this high density area. Yeah. The proof is in the planning, isn't it, I think? Another train station here, which again is very busy. Should we take a look at some of the ridership here? You got 522 people waiting here for a train, which is good. Also hooked in with an underground metro system here too. Should we have a look at that underground metro actually? It's not too extensive. I think it pops in and out of the underground, doesn't it? So we'll see it as we head overground as well. And then more Europeans only spills into a massive waterfront district where we come back here. There's some of the smaller banks and whatnot. There's the terrain. It really kind of rises and falls on this map, doesn't it? I think that's what I like about Emerald Cliffs, is it gives you a real terrain challenge. It's not a flat map by any means at all. And you can really see this, can't you? But he's blended it in just tremendously well into the city. Really, really nice. Over this way, we come into more European zoning with mixes of modern city centre, and then a big old waterfront here with unique buildings, the mall, the casino, the Ferris wheel. Oh, that's the London Eye, isn't it? Whatever it's called. Creators Library, the Super Deluxe Hotel, which again is always a difficult asset to use, but it's always at home on a waterfront, isn't it? And actually pairs very nicely with the Science Centre. Two big, glassy, modern buildings like that, I think. A match made in heaven, aren't they? It's a nice combination, that one. Oh, look at that. Trains, boats, and roads. Super cool. And metro. He is using some custom metro tracks as well, which these are really nice, actually, aren't they? That's a very nice little bridge. I like that. But wonderful layering. Trains going into stations. But some that are bypassing, boats underneath, roads. Very, very nice shot, that one, with the layering. Love that. This then drops us back into the district we were coming down toward earlier across this bridge over here. We can also see the Eden Project over here as well. I always see the Eden Project in these cities quite a lot. It seems to be a really popular monument, that one, doesn't it? No, is it totally max land value? I think that's what it does, isn't it? I'm sure it does. And then the Academic Library on a hill over here with some zoning. Before that spills into what you can see is a monstrous airport, but we'll get over there in a second. And then again, look at this. I'm just amazed. All this rail junction work as well. Layers of networks, just like, again, if there's anything that can buy me off, it's network layering. It's really, really fancy. And just fantastic flow as well. We'll definitely get some cinematics of these interchanges for the end of the video today. And then this comes back into another high density area where we can see the Gherkin, more Hearts of Korea zoning, mixed with wall-to-wall observation towers. A bit of a CS2 style marina here actually, isn't it? With the walking pathways like that. Very nice. Always very creative to get involved in stuff like that. And then this comes into more of the kind of normal zoning we see across the city. There's little custom plaza spaces knocking around in here as well. To help respect those unique buildings and try and fill some of those not really zonable spaces. But it's all very nice. It's all very densely packed as well, isn't it? A really nice curving here also of the European zoning. He's managed to really kind of line that up on the corner there, hasn't he? That's super nice. Really like that. And then there's this big green belt that flows right through the middle, which is actually the highway. It kind of devolves here. Back into suburban roads and then meets into a single lane as there's lots of walkable greenbelt either side of it. So that's a really nice way to feed a highway system through the middle of a city. Kind of slow it down, and rather than doing full interchanges, you just have these kind of little single slip lanes on and off to either side of the city. It's really cute, that. I really like that indeed. And then it comes back into actual highway and then goes into another interchange, which is gorgeous. So cool. This is probably my favourite interchange so far, this one, the one with the layered rails. And just great, isn't it? You could zoom around these interchanges forever. Just so inspiring. And look at that high rise on the back as well. And that's respecting the topography, isn't it? Just all the gradients up there to the top. So dense as well, isn't it? Really, really cool. Love looking at full cities like this. Of course, because I build so many different cities at once, we only really get to that end game stage maybe 2-3 times a year, sometimes not even that much. But it's always so much fun to look around these completed cities and see what other people have done with them. Over here, we'll pop over to, I guess what I'm assuming is an unfinished part of the city due to all these road frames that are knocking around. But if anything, I think it's a glimpse into the approach of his road planning. Really organic networks that piece together super cool designs here. Again, I'm always a fan of this as well, of drawing out your road frames before. Just kind of gauging the size and the scale of what you want to put in. Great work. With yes, another gorgeous interchange. There's only so many times I can say it. But I will continue to say it. Just supreme again. So nice. And then down here, this links up with the rail we found at the start of the video. Coming out over here where there is a dead arterial, which is going to be developed into something in the future, you hope. Very cool. And then this comes back up into the city where we were looking at. Really keen to check out this high-rise hill. There's mixes of industry garbage processing, the usual wall-to-wall and European zoning as well, with a metro cutting right through the middle of this district. Is it this? Oh, look at that. There you go. Let's watch the train. Yes, please. Isn't that fantastic? So nice. And it's all coming uphill as well. You know what? There's very little kind of awful tearing as well. I guess there is if you get really close, but you know, it's hidden behind the buildings, isn't it? So from the street view, it looks very organic. Super nice. I also want to check, is all this zoned or has this been plopped? It is. It's all zoning, which honestly makes it all the more impressive. That he's managed to fill these city blocks and not have any super obvious nasty terrain tear in there. Which is fantastic, isn't it? Isn't that just incredible? Like, it's all zoned. Through here as well, metro breaks off into more high density, nice greenbelt designs through here. This area is just so packed in, isn't it? Super cool. We'll loop back down this way and head toward the airport while we check out these areas. So more high density in here. This is residential and office space, isn't it? With the occasional service building. Also as part of the skyline with the European hospital. We then arrive into a very eye-catching configuration over here, don't we, again, which is areas of the city to be finished. But the Deluxe Hotel, I think this one's called, is it? Oh, with a stadium right behind it. God, that is hidden, isn't it? I didn't even notice the stadium from this angle here. But I'm guessing this area isn't finished. You can obviously see this monorail line is waiting to be drawn down. This kind of central couplet system to be hooked into an existing monorail system, maybe. I can't see one nearby. So I'm going to assume this will be a new configuration for him with the monorail shipping people to the stadium and the hotel, of course. Actually interested to see, is this a profitable hotel? Not that I really care, because I hate the hotel's mechanic. I think it's ridiculous. But yes, it does. It does make a lot of profit. Should we have a look at his hotel chain, actually? It's all pretty profitable. Only one not in profit. But really cool. Very nice to see. It makes it even more high density. And again, things to come over this side of the map, isn't it? I don't want to linger too long here. It's obviously not ready. But glimpses of what's going to happen. Look at these little skyscraper spaces. Look at that. That's like a natural vanilla fuse in there, isn't it? With the kind of the old style skyscraper with the financial district stuff. That's a very nice little combination there. And again, yeah, so this will all grow out around this big lake feature, where he's obviously planning to develop all this at some point in the future. And we'll cross across some big old patches of residential and European zone in here, as we arrive at a wonderful little park here. Quite a spread out zoo, but a nice way to fill a hillside. Very pretty. And then I can spot another centralized campus, which is amazing. Love a centralized campus. No sightline on the front of this one, but some wonderful detailing. Has to be said, with a statue of Jerry Sr. and then lots of bushes knocking about in the fencing. Well, that spills back into more European zoning, but let's check out the campus. So fountain behind, great central design, absolutely awesome. And then all the buildings tucked in, nice and compact with each other. You love to see it. This is all very nice down here. Got the stadium up at the edge, bit of a varsity sports building. Super cool. Not the biggest campus ever, but a nice little kind of centralized mall design for it, isn't it? I really like that. Heading back across the city, we'll drop down the hill again into one of the big baseball arenas with some unique buildings, the Human Chirper, the food market from Korea, and then a nice train station here as well, which looks like a busy one. Seems to be a few people coming and going from here. Only 142, but of course it'll spike as trains come in and out, won't it? One of the Japanese Railroad of Japan stations, I think, is it? No, is that a custom one? I definitely don't recognise that. Oh, no, it is, yeah, it's the large ground one. Looks different for some reason. Either way, regardless, very cool. The Eden Project and the hotels are over here. We'll again admire the network work from here. I think if there's a shot that encapsulates this city, that's it, isn't it? Or the trains coming in and out of the roads. There's interchange over here, it's crazy. It's super cool. And it loops around, splits off, it's up and down, left, right, it's just amazing. And then this comes down into another interchange, which splits off into what is really a centerpiece for the city, isn't it? An absolutely massive airport. Reminds me very much of the Sky Harbor, this actually. Or I guess Vegas's airport is also very similar, kind of right in the middle of an enormous kind of metropolitan sprawl. Just fantastic. Really nice. Really love it. Great way to use up some space on an 81 tower build as well to make the airport part of your city like this. But let's head down the highways, down into the entrance. Again, with different slip lanes off into different terminals. We're actually passing under the airport here as well. Merging out the other side. I'm not sure why they're being stupid. I think that's just some clown AI lane switching, isn't it? That's causing the traffic to back up in the tunnel. But they are moving out the other side, so just put it down to dumb AI. The cargo airport is integrated immediately as part of the terminals, which is actually really nice. I don't tend to use it like that. I always think I should separate the cargo away from the passenger terminals, but that's really nicely integrated there. Super cool. And then the terminal configuration is fantastic, isn't it? Really, really nice. One of the big concourse things at the head. Lots of lined up planes ready to go. Fantastic taxi and runway configurations using the airport imperator. Extra kind of taxiway slip here, which is a really cool trick. I need to remember to try that at some point. Very node intensive if you're going to double up with the pathways. But I think it is worth it, isn't it? That is one case where it is using, or is worth using the extra nodes. I love that actually, integration of a non-connected road into the airfield. That's really nice. Gives it a slightly different border, doesn't it? I'm a big fan of that actually. Very nice. And just a super impressive airport complex. Just look, enjoy it. Just enjoy it from the bird's eye perspective. There's another terminal over here. Absolutely fantastic. Do we have some airport ridership numbers, I wonder? How many do we have coming in? 77 active flights, and it's served 10 million passengers whilst it's been alive, which is crazy, isn't it? Absolutely mental. So just bask in the airport, everyone. It's a real centerpiece for the city if we get a grander bird's eye perspective here. It's pretty incredible, that, isn't it? Really, really nice. Down this way, we'll arrive at another stadium and unique building configuration against the waterfronts, leaving the airport. With lots of this packed in zoning in between. Very, very nice. Further afield, we can see the land begin to rise again, which is all capped off with an inclusion of the Lord Chirper Castle, or Chirpwick Castle, whatever it's called. There's a bit of a centerpiece on the hill there around European zoning. Which again, one of the harder uniques to use this one because it's so stylized. But that is a great positioning for it. Slightly atop a hill with some European zoning around the foot is very, very appropriate. Which drops us off at the cathedral, combined with some plazas and ponds in yet more European zoning. As much as I've fawned over the use of the roads today, I think the use of European zoning here has also been pulled off very well. He's not just doing the classic kind of city block European zoning, which is always how I tend to use it because that's definitely the best way it looks. But even things like, where was that bit of the city we saw earlier? The curved road down here, wasn't it? Like how he's curved the roads to respect kind of the bend of the European zone as it goes down there. So round of applause for the European zoning today. It's not the easiest thing in the world to use. Back over this way, we can see lots more crazy metro work out here. Look at this. Look at this. Even using one-way metro lines here as well to split them off. Super cool network design again. Which then devolves into areas of the city to be developed, of course. Lots of custom parks out here, but just nice glimpses into his road network planning. Little embanked kind of horseshoe turnaround here as well for a train network. Looks like it's heading in a different direction there, doesn't it? I'm just guessing that's going to an outside connection. It is indeed. Very nice. Yeah, really cool rail work all the way through the middle of the city. It actually cuts down into a little sunken quay here. And then emerges out there, doesn't it? Wonder the interchange again. Isn't that cool? Just so cool. So, so cool. Across the other side of the airport is the factory district we arrived to, leaving the countryside. Before we can see more wonderful interchange work over here. And then there's unit buildings. More varsity sports through here as well before we come to another interchange. Nice little clover stack here, which is getting lots of use, isn't it? Lovely stuff. And that goes into this one, which heads back into the terminals over here as well. Just such a pleasure to walk around. A really, really well put together city on a difficult map as well. I think we have to remember that this isn't the easiest terrain in the world to build on by any means necessary. And that kind of ties us back into the middle of the map here with the waterfronts and the hotels and the little zonings around here. We can come across another mental interchange. Look at this. Look at this. It's just so cool. Absolutely awesome. So the city isn't finished yet. Clearly there's some patches still waiting to be developed. But overall it's an absolutely splendid build to look across. And I thought this was buildings over here, but it's just some rocks, isn't it? I thought I might have missed out a mountaintop build. But I think we've covered everything in there, and to just, not that I'm trying to give a review or anything, this is really a showcase rather than me giving tips, but an excellent execution of European zoning with some of the best, if not the best, CS1 interchange work I've seen. There's some really nice networks in here, and it's all custom too. It's all of it is custom. These aren't plopped interchanges off the workshop, you know. This is This is a person that knows how to build highways and also knows how to plan very nice organic road infrastructure. You can see in the bits that aren't developed yet just how he plans beforehand, leading to an absolutely tremendous city build on the Emerald Cliffs map. But otherwise, guys, we will leave it there. Massive shout out to the Doctor again for sending this in. Thank you for the submission, my friend. I thoroughly enjoyed looking around the Emerald Cliffs map. And a massive shout out to all the patrons, with a special roll call to Andrew Perez and O'Hare Casino. Glad to get involved in that. There are links down to Instant Gaming and Patreon down below, which are the best ways to support the work we do here on the channel. If you would like to have your city feature on City Showcase, please fill out the link to the Google form below, and you may well see it in the next episode. But this has been an absolutely wonderful map to look around. I am thoroughly in love with San Martin, and it's a city built on an extremely difficult map with a difficult zoning style, with some of the best CS1 interchange work I've ever seen. And I've been watching CS for a long time now. Like, this is really, really clean work and a pleasure to look around the city. But otherwise, I'll shut up and leave it there. Let's thank you all so much again for watching, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day.